Greetings, dear ones. We are the Arcturians. Always know that the intention of these messages is to assist on all levels, those open to being assisted. We realize that in many ways ordinary life has become difficult because much that you have been accustomed to no longer functions as it once did. Allow the process for all as it needs to be at this time in order for the unawakened majority to wake up, if not fully, then at least into a new and higher sense of what life should be about. The energy you are feeling has become increasingly intense as high resonating frequencies of light come in contact with and expose the low resonating and dense energies that have dominated and defined mankind's thinking for eons. This high frequency energy is causing everyone to question their choices, beliefs and goals, life in general as they have always lived it and believed it to be. The dissolving of the false is the purpose behind everything taking place at this time. The exposures, awakenings, change, resistance, and the dismantling of many old firmly entrenched paradigms. Never lose sight of the fact that you chose to be on Earth at this time not only to clear personal energetic debris but also to assist with the heavy lifting of the world's collective consciousness. All is proceeding according to plan both within and without. Trust, and cease continually attempting to fix everything with old tools. Doing is a three-dimensional activity that you have been programmed to do. Real change can only flow from within, the source of creative thinking and new ideas. Go within for answers and solutions no matter how seemingly mundane the problem or issue, and what manifests will be practical and seemingly ordinary but works. Many for the first time are beginning to experience a sense of camaraderie with others. This is how awakening into a conscious awareness of oneness begins. The realization of every truth begins as a tiny crack of light in a person's awareness. This little step is in reality a huge step for someone who has always lived fully from three-dimensional thinking. The tiny crack of light will then begin to expand because it is reality, and reality automatically dissolves everything unlike itself. Do not judge the efforts or non-efforts of those around you because every person must evolve at their own pace. Some have more three-dimensional lessons to experience while others have completed theirs. Always remember that regardless of appearances, every person has a higher self and guides. Knowing this makes it easier to pull back from the temptation to enlighten someone who does not wish to be enlightened. Love is allowing, and there may come a point at which you must simply allow another to fall flat on their face, which can be very difficult if the other is a loved one. The job of a spiritual master is to have their hand out ready to grab the hand that is reaching out for help, but is never to reach down and pull someone kicking and screaming out of their chosen gutter experience. There are occasions when an intervention is appropriate, but only when those around the person intuit that she actually desires help. Know the truth about every individual you see, become aware of, or interact with regardless of how spiritually asleep they might seem to be. This never means allowing yourself to be used, intimidated, or abused in any way in the false belief that you are being patient, loving, or spiritual. Evolved and spiritually aware individuals are empowered, not afraid to lovingly but firmly speak their truth, and capable of taking whatever necessary actions may be required, but never losing sight of the fact that they and the others involved are spiritual beings. Many are not yet able to comprehend the quiet ways of peace and love and misinterpret these qualities as weakness. They often lash out with words and actions in fearful attempts to maintain their belief system of separation and life as they know it. With time all will come to know unconditional love, for it is the reality. Some of you will be discovering or have already found that others, often a stranger or someone you least expect, is drawn to you asking questions about truth, what you believe, or what you would do about some issue. This is because they feel your energy, are able to align with it, and are spiritually ready for more. Give spiritual baby food to the beginners and spiritual meat to those ready for it. Giving a deep truth to someone not yet spiritually prepared will simply confuse or actually turn them away. Always trust your intuition to guide you in these matters. Every thought you think and every false belief you hold becomes part of the collective. That is why we advise to limit news watching and three-dimensional based involvement in outer affairs, for when you do this you simply add old energy to the collective consciousness that you are hoping to enlighten. Examine your own personal beliefs and you may find that you still hold beliefs from the collective that no longer serve your present and more evolved state of consciousness. Remember, there is no unexpressed consciousness, and every little belief you hold will manifest in some way at some time because you are creators. Allowing oneself to become embroiled in the right and wrong, good and bad of the outer scene, simply adds to or augments the contents of the three-dimensional collective. However, This does not mean you close your eyes to the problems and issues of the world. You see them, are aware of them, and do not deny or resist them, but rather observe them from a place of higher awareness, one that knows the reality underlying all appearances. When you do this, you add light to the collective rather than more of the false. There are some who have incarnated specifically to take an active role in world politics, law, religion, medicine, education, military, science, etc. These souls are highly evolved and strong enough to open cracks of light in the densest of areas. Some have been severely abused, even killed for their attempts to change the status quo, but many continue to work for peace and change right alongside those still fully enmeshed in old energy. If you are one of them, you know who you are, and we honor you for your strength and courage. Simply and quietly hold the light, knowing that you carry it with you wherever you go. The light of an evolved consciousness can be a beacon for those struggling to survive the storms now taking place. Many evolved individuals falsely believe that they are doing nothing and wonder why they have not been given a spiritual job. Every thought you think, every place you go, and every person you interact with is being spiritually served by you, because the light of your consciousness is you. This is the real meaning of light work. The artist who presents beauty to others is a light worker. The farmer who lovingly provides healthy and wholesome food is a light worker. Teacher who patiently serves her students is a light worker. A wife and mother who cares for her family is a light worker. The refuse collector who does his job with love and care is a light worker. Everyone who does what they do from love and a sense of oneness is a light worker. A person's state of consciousness determines what they bring to the world. Let go of any remaining concepts about saints, spiritual teachers, priests and gurus, psychics, and healers being special, holier, better than you. It is true that some have attained a high level of spiritual awareness and may be very evolved, but others of them have not. Everyone is an expression of divine source, God, for nothing else exists. This was the message of Jesus. But the people then and now did not understand and began to instill worship the man while forgetting the message. We have seen so many of you struggling with spiritual truth in the light of what you see happening in the outer world. Let the outer world do what it must do, dear ones, while you continue to hold to your center. The things that you read or hear about are not yours unless you bring them in and make them yours. Allow others to work their way through what they need to work through. Most of you have completed your necessary three-dimensional experiences, done the work, and did not incarnate simply to live a satisfying three-dimensional life. Rather, you came to help lift the world consciousness to new levels of awareness, but you cannot do this if you attempt to do it from the same level of thinking that created the third-dimensional belief system in the first place. You must come out and be separate from that which you know to be old energy. Allow previous beliefs about it being your duty to fix everyone and everything to drop away. You are no longer that state of consciousness, but many of you are having a hard time moving beyond this belief because you were taught in many lifetimes that it is your job as a good person to save, fix, or heal everything and everyone that does not reflect yours or current thought about what is true and correct. Trust that all is proceeding according to a divine plan, and know that every soul is on a journey of awakening and will eventually get there. The conflict, confusions, and chaos taking place at this time are all facets of Earth's shift into higher dimensional energy. All is proceeding according to plan. Never doubt this. Trust, allow, and be. We are the Arcturian group.